Hello, lovely people. This is Quasi. Every Saturday in the evening here in Shanghai, China, giving you the necessary information that you need when traveling to China. I have to salute some very few people. I have to salute all my friends in Ghana. I have to salute my friends in Shanghai. I have to salute my people in Beijing. I have to salute my friends in Japan, Brazil, Jamaica, Australia, Canada, and New York. I have to salute all my fans and all the African businesses around the globe and here in Shanghai. Today we are going to talk about something which is very important to all Africans. All Africans, I mean West Africans, Southern Africans, East Africans, and maybe the North Africans. But then you see that there's a specific trait that goes through all around Africa. Today we are going to talk about coming to China. And I'm going to say thank you to Mr. Raji for watching us live. Raji's online. Today the show is going to be very, very short and very, very simple. I'm going to make the show in a way that I'll give more room to people who want to ask questions so they can ask questions. Earlier before the show was a little bit broad. If I say broad, I mean earlier before the show was me only giving you the information, but now it's going to be a form of interaction. I'm going to give more time to my people to ask me questions so I can answer their questions. Today we are going to talk about coming to China. What do you need to do when coming to China? As a matter of fact, I'm not being racial, but then you find that a lot of people coming from Africa don't do their research when they are coming into China. They don't know where they are even going. They don't take the map to check where they are going. Example, if they are going to somewhere like Beijing, which is in the north of China, you find that they take their flight to Guangzhou, which is in the south of China. And when they get to the south of China, they think Beijing is about, let's say, some 30 minutes ride by taxi or 30 minutes ride by train. So from Guangzhou, they can just move 30 minutes to Beijing, which is very bad. It's not possible because Beijing is at the north part of China and Guangzhou is at the southmost part of China. So you see that a lot of our people don't do their research. They don't research at all when coming to China. So today the conversation is going to be something that's going to help you prepare before you take your flight to China. Before I start, I'll give you the information. I'll let you know that now China is opening a lot of ports to foreigners. First, there were only 3 international ports. That was the Beijing port, that's the Beijing airport, right? And we had the Shanghai airport and we had the Guangzhou airport. But right now there are a lot of ports that they are opening. Right now we have a port in Sichuan. Yes, there's an international airport in Sichuan, and in Anhui too they have an international airport. So what is Kwesi saying today? Kwesi is saying that if you are buying a ticket, make sure that you are going close to your location. That's the first point. Fly close to your location. If you are going to Jiangsu province, just take the map. Look at the map and you find out, Jiangsu province is very close to Shanghai. For that matter, you can fly through Shanghai to Jiangsu province. Next, if you want to go to a place like, let's say, Tianjin, if you take the map, you see that Tianjin is next to Beijing. So you not worry yourself flying to Guangzhou, you fly to Beijing and from Beijing you can go to Tianjin. Because if you fly to the south of China, that is the Guangzhou area, getting to Beijing will be very, very difficult. You might be taking about, let's say, 30 hours train, sorry. You might be taking about 30 hours train before you get to Beijing, which very, very, it'll inconvenience you. It will give you some inconvenience, and also transportation will be something that will be of a high cost to you. So if you are making this trip, please take a map, look on the Chinese map and see where you are going. Make sure the airport you are flying to is close to your destination. The second thing I'll talk about is the ticketing. If you are buying a ticket, there are some requirements that you need to get to know when buying a ticket. Actually, there's no requirement for buying a ticket, but then if you're buying a ticket and you have a visa, example, you have a business visa doesn't allow you to stay in the country for a long time. It can allow you to stay for 1 month. So if you're buying a ticket, you make sure you buy your ticket in and out. And when you are buying a ticket out, you should make sure it doesn't elapse the 1 month. So yeah, when you're buying a ticket, know the kind of visa you have before you buy a ticket. If you want to know more about these visas here in China, check out my YouTube. My YouTube is Kwesi, KWESI space KWESY. If you check out my Facebook, you see all kinds of visas that they are in China here and how long it can take you. But then seeing your visa, you can see straight away that, oh, your visa is 1 month, your visa is 2 months, your visa is 3 months. So if you have business visa, then you need to buy tickets out when that time is due. For student visas, people traveling into China with student visas, you don't need a round trip ticket, because most of the time student visas are for long stay, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So student visas don't require you to buy a return ticket. Next is the work visa. If you have a work visa, you don't need to buy a return ticket, because work visa is for a long stay. If you want to know more about work visa, if you want to know about student visa, check out my YouTube. There are a lot of detailed information about what work visa is, how to apply for it, what student visa is, and how to apply for it. If you are coming in with a marriage visa is a long stay, so you don't need to buy a return ticket. If you are coming in with a tourist visa, you need to buy a return ticket. So what am I saying? Business visa, tourist visa, you need to buy a return ticket. If you are coming in for S2, if you are coming in with S2 visa, that's a personal affairs visa, you need to buy a return ticket, because not for a long stay. Excuse me, for a short stay. And let me tell you, and let me make you aware that if you don't buy your return ticket, when you get to the airport, you have problems with the immigration. When you get to the airport, they have the right to deport you, or they have the right to detain you and after send you back to your home country. Because if you don't buy the return tickets, you are telling the immigration indirectly that you don't intend to go back home. You intend to overstay your welcome. Overstay your visa. So then the immigration will decide to send you back home. And for decisions made by the immigration here in China is final. The one sitting behind the counter, if the person decides that you are not fit to enter the country, no matter what you have, no matter the visa you have, he's made a decision, and that's the decision of the government. It's final. You have no say. So please don't fall in the trap of getting to the airport and getting to know that, oh, you had to buy a return ticket. Don't fall in that trap. Don't be that unaware. You should be aware of everything that's happening to you, and you should know things ahead of time. Make sure that if you are traveling with the business visa and the tourist visa, you buy your return ticket. Next point I'm going to talk about is a hotel reservation. hotel reservation. For people traveling with business visa and tourist visa, you need to do a hotel reservation because the immigration needs to know where you are going to. The immigration needs to know where you are going to sleep. People with work visa, people with student visa, they don't really need the hotel reservation because the work visa is going to his company, and his company has already gotten him a house to stay in. The student visa is also going to school. His school has also already gotten that person a dormitory to stay in. But you coming with a tourist visa, you must show the immigration where you're going to stay. That's the hotel. You coming with a business visa, you must show the immigration where you're going to stay, and that is the hotel. So you must have your hotel reservation. Your hotel reservation makes sure it covers all your time of stay. Example, if you are staying in city A for 2 days, you must make sure the hotel is booked for 2 days. If you move to city B for 3 days, you must make sure that in that city you book a hotel for all the 3 days, and you can show all the documents to the immigration officer. Remember, if you don't show the documents to the immigration officer, he can decide to refuse you entry, can decide to stop you from entering the country. And if he decides to stop you from entering the country, it's final. It's final. They have those powers. I mean, they have the power to decide on what should happen to you, whether you can enter the country or not. Make sure you have your documents. Documents speaks better than words. They can read the documents. They can verify the documents. Example, if you make the hotel reservation, they can call the hotel to find out to see if you made a reservation or not. If you book your return tickets, they can check online and see whether you book the flight ticket or not. I mean, whether you book your return ticket or not. So please make sure you have all these documents. As you're traveling to China, before you enter the airport, you should have maybe a backpack, or you should have a portfolio that has these documents. The first document I mentioned was your return ticket. You should show to them if you are using business and tourist visa. The second document should be your hotel reservation if you are using business and tourist visa, or sometimes if you are using S2 visa too, you should have this hotel reservation. People with student visa, they don't need it. They don't need a hotel reservation. People with work visa, they don't need a hotel reservation. And other kinds of visas, like marriage visa, they don't need the hotel reservation. The next point I'm going to make is the house registration. House registration. You don't need a house registration when entering the airport. When entering the country. But after you enter the country, make sure you do your house registration within the first 24 hours or 48 hours. The rule says 48 hours, so make sure you do your house registration within the first 48 hours. If you don't know what house registration is, please check out my YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search Kwesi, 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 Kwesy. If you search Kwesi, you'll be able to see what house registration is for and why you should do it. But I'll give you some brief information about house registration. House registration is for the police to get to know, the police in China to get to know where you are living. So when you come and you are living in a hotel, as somebody with business visa, you don't need a house registration. If you are living in a hotel, as somebody who has tourist visa, I don't need a house registration. But then students who are coming in students who are coming in might need a house registration if they are living outside the campus. But then if you are living in the school campus, you also don't need a house registration. Work visa, people with work visa, they need a house registration. People with Q visa, Q is the marriage visa, they also need the house registration. Back to the airport. When you are entering the country, you need to show the immigration proof of what you are coming to do in the country. There was one guy who got my number online. I don't know who gave my number because I do this YouTube and I advise people, I give people free consultation and all that. There was one guy who got to the airport and just gave me a phone call. I was like, wow. He just gave me a phone call telling me that, oh, he's gotten to airport and somebody gave him a contact that as soon as he gets to China, he should talk to me. I can be of help to him. But then I was like, bro, I don't really know you. You've gotten to the airport and you are having an interrogation with the police and you just call me up. I don't know you. I don't know who gave you my number. How can I guarantee or tell the police I know you? How can I tell the police you're coming to me? I don't know you. I've not met you before. Politely, I told him, bro, you need to do the right thing. If you are coming to China, you need to have a proof of why you are entering the country. So I told him, bro, please try and sort this issue out with the immigration because I don't know you, and I cannot say anything to immigration in your favor or against you. Because actually, when you were coming to China, you should have planned ahead. Do you understand? You should have planned ahead before you came into the country. So what I'm saying is, the story didn't really end well for the guy because he couldn't show the police why he was entering the country. He came on S2 visa, that's a personal affairs visa. By some means and by some ways, some agents in his home country prepared an S2 visa for him. S2 visa, you can check on YouTube, you know what S2 visa is. And this guy came with an S2 visa, which is a personal affairs visa. And the immigration asked him, with this personal affairs visa that you have, who are you coming to visit in China, or who are you coming to in China? This guy didn't know what to say. He didn't know what to do because he didn't prepare earlier. He doesn't know anybody in China. The agents in his home country just got him the S2 visa, and he didn't even research about the S2 visa. He knows nothing about the S2 visa. So when the immigration started questioning him, then he just took up my number and he just called me. You get me? So please make sure if you are coming in, you need to have a proof of why you're coming in. If you are coming in as a student, you need to have your admission notice and JW202 right in your hand. So when the immigration asks you why are you coming to China, you tell him, oh, you are coming to study. And these are your documents. This is your admission notice that show that you've been admitted in the school. This is your JW202 that also shows you've been admitted in the school. If you are coming in with a business visa, you need to show a letter that shows that you are in business with a company here in China. You need to show them there's a letter from the company who invited me, or there's a business transaction that I made with the company, something like this. If you are coming in with the Q visa, that's a marriage visa, you should tell them, I'm coming in to see my wife in China. This is my wife's contact number, or this is my wife's ID or something. If you're coming in with a tourist visa, you should show them your itinerary, your travel itinerary, and tell them, I plan to go to Shanghai to see the Pearl Tower. I plan to go to Beijing to see the walls, the Beijing walls. I plan to go here and here. You should show some proof. You should show them something on documents to tell them why you are coming to the country. You cannot just enter the country without nothing. Just not showing people that immigration nothing. They ask you why you coming to the country, and you tell them, I'm coming to tour the country. I'm coming as a tourist. Where's your flight? Where's your travel itinerary? You don't have no travel itinerary. What? You don't have no plan of visiting this place and that place and that place? Then how come you have a visa? Your visa that you had is a tourist visa. For that matter, you should have an itinerary. You should have a plan that you are visiting this place, that place, and this place. So if you don't have the travel itinerary, the immigration will decide, oh, sorry, we cannot allow you to enter the country. Your travel has been, your entry to the country has been denied. Pump. If they stamp, if they close your passport and they give it back to you, it's done. So please try to have a proof of travel, something that shows what you're coming to do in the country. Next is the address. Make sure you have your address intact. If I say address, What I mean is, you should show the police, the immigration, where you are heading towards. Example, if you are a student, your address is your school. So you should tell the police, oh, I'm going to Nanjing and I'm going to my school in Nanjing. This is the address. You show the person the address. If you are coming with a business visa, or you say, I'm doing business with this company, there's a company name, and their address is at this place, their phone number is at this place. So you should have the company contact. If you are going to see a friend, you should, if the immigration asks you, where are you going? You say you are going to see a friend. The person lives in Shanghai. The person lives in Huangpu district in Shanghai. This is that address. So your address should be part of your documentation. Your documents should have the address. Next is a contact number. Make sure you have a contact number of the related person who is in charge of your case. Example, if you are going to face a company, the related person who is in the company inviting you, you should have his contact number. If you are going to school, you should have the contact number of the school. If you are coming as a tourist to tour the country, you should have the contact number of the hotels. So when the immigration calls the hotel, they get you. Welcome here, welcome Mr. Frank Charlie, welcome Basil Anthony, welcome Mr. Danny, welcome Nana Asari, welcome to the show. The last thing I'll make mention of before before we start the questioning session is the contact number. Make sure your contact numbers are genuine. Make sure your contact numbers can go through. So whilst in your home country, you should try to call that contact number and make sure it works, because you cannot fly in to the Beijing airport or Shanghai airport to find out that the contact number of the person in China doesn't work. If the contact number of the person doesn't work whilst you're in the airport, they will not allow you entry. They just deny your entry and tell you to go back to your home country. So whilst back home, make sure you call that contact number and it goes through, and you tell the person, hey brother, I'm coming to China as at this time and that time. If I'm coming and I get to immigration, they might ask me to provide a number. When I provide a number and they make that phone call, please pick up, because I'll arrive at around this time. So 1 hour before the time, just be online and make sure you pick any phone calls that gets to you. This is all I have for you today. I think it's now 8:30 Beijing time. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. Question time. Yeah. Question time. If you have any questions, let's go know. Okay. If we don't have any questions, then we might be ending the show any moment. Mr. Basil, do you have any questions? Mr. Kwame Duff, do you have any questions? Kwame Duff, salute to you. Yeah, Kwame Duff is a good friend and a business partner in Ghana. I salute all businesses that is trying to help Africans to survive here in China, and all African businesses in Africa that is helping Africans do business in China. Why I say I salute these people is, here in China it's very hard for you to send money out of the country to your home country. It's very hard to send money to your home country. So there are some businesses over here that help people send money to their home country. Also back in Africa, it's very hard to use they won't allow you to even use Western Union to send money into China. I don't know about MoneyGram. Maybe MoneyGram doesn't also allow people in Africa to send money into China. If I say people in Africa, I mean from Ghana. Western Union doesn't allow you to send money into China. I think MoneyGram too, they don't allow people to send money into China. But then there are some companies in Ghana who help people send money into China to pay their suppliers, to pay their uh, customers here. You know, there are a lot of manufacturers here, and people buy things from China. So people in Ghana who want to buy things in China and they want to buy it swiftly, I mean, they want to make payments really, really fast. They don't have any means like Western Union to make that payments. If they go through the bank transfer takes you a minimum of 3 working days. So there are some companies in East Legon. I will share their contact with you if you want to send money into China to pay your manufacturers. You can contact that company in East Legon. I've used them before. I think they are cool. I remember when I used them, I was in Ghana, and I remember they were cool. They were cool to me. Their rates were very low. You can contact them if you want to buy things in China here. They can help you send your money into China and pay your manufacturers. We have a question from Mr. Nana Asari. Do you pay for the hotel before arrival? Before arrival, there are 2 kinds, right? There are some hotels that they will ask you to pay before arrival, and there are some hotels that you can just book online. You don't need to pay before arrival. If you want hotels that you don't pay before arrival, you can check out booking.com. Booking.com. At booking.com, you can book some hotels without making payments before arrival. And I think that's what most Africans do. Yeah, when I was coming into China, I also used that same way, because there are some hotels that those hotels they don't really struggle. I mean, they don't really stress you on making payments before arrival. So I think those hotels will be helpful to our African brothers and sisters. Actually, hotels in these big cities are very, very expensive. Hotels in Shanghai are very expensive, the most expensive in the world. Hotels in Beijing are also the same, but hotels in Guangzhou are a little bit cheaper. But then some people know that they will not really come to the hotel to come and stay in. So if you know you not really enter the hotel to stay in, then I think you shouldn't make payments before arrival. You can just make a booking without paying for it, and when the immigration check, they'll just see where you are going to stay. If they call the hotel to check, the hotel will say, oh yeah, you made a booking. All they need to know is that you made a booking. That's all. You made a booking means that you are coming towards their direction and you're coming towards their hotel. So that is the hotel. The police will know that you are heading towards. Any questions more? If you have any questions, please ask Kwesi the question. And I guess we have about 1 minute more. Yeah, lovely people, thank you very much for coming out here with me. Thank you very much for being online with me as at this time. I really appreciate it. Next week we'll be coming in with more information. Please tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your business partners, and everyone who wants to get information about China to come online next week same time, because we are going to make it bigger. We are going to get more information for you. We are going to make your life easier when you're traveling into China. One good news I'll share with you is that we are having some Africans here are trying to see if they can organize a place that will be a form of information center for newbies who come here. So Africans in Shanghai are really doing well. They are going to organize some small source of information for people who come in here. I think we have another question from Nanasari again. Okay, this is out of my topic, but I don't know if you can help me out. I need a partner for agribusiness. Oh, you need a partner for agribusiness. Okay, you can send me a private message so I see how best I can help you, Mr. Nanake. You can send me a private message. I'll check it out and we'll see how best I can help you. Maybe link you up with some Chinese companies to see if they can partner up with you. Thank you very much. God bless us all. I hope next week you'll be with me. Thank you.